Hey guys, welcome back to the No Holds Barred Network with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host as always, the queen of the indies, Tiffany, and today I am joined actually from the H2O building itself, her friend Darien Hardway. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I see getting that training in. Always working
Yeah.
hard, you guys. You guys always busting your ass to entertain people like me. So thank you for all that hard work that you guys do. So, guys, if you're new here to the No Holds Barred Network on the Under the Rope series, here I interview everything independent wrestling, whether it's wrestlers, referees, promoters, behind the scenes, everything independent wrestling, I got you covered. If you have questions for Darien, please drop them in the chat. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. So we're going to dive right in so that I can let you go back to training. So thank you for doing a podcast with us today so we can get to know you. So,
Well, of course. I love doing podcasts, so I didn't mind at all.
awesome. So I like to start all my interviews off. How did you get into professional wrestling?
So I actually started watching wrestling at a pretty young age. I was like maybe 5 or 6 years old. Funny part about it is I had no idea what wrestling was. All I knew was that it was just like two guys beating each other up. But a friend of mine was really into it. He had like all the, WWF toys and stuff like that. So it was kind of hard not to get into wrestling being around him. Oh, lights went out.
It happens.
Gotta walk around outside, see if I can get some light.
You're good. Let there be lights. You're good. We're kind of like, we'll see ya. You're good.
Get all now better.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, cool. So what was I saying? A friend of mine was really into wrestling. He just had me watch some videos with him, play a couple of his video games. And, the first person I ever saw was The Rock. And he's the one that really made me want to get into wrestling because he entertained me. So that's pretty much what made me want to get into wrestling.
That's so awesome. And like, where did you go to start like training and all that?
So right after I graduated high school back in 2013, I got lucky because a friend of mine who I knew in high school, his name was Tom, came up to me during lunch and he was like, "Hey man, are you serious about being a wrestler?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, my dad is actually friends with someone who trained under Taz and Perry Saturn. He's actually starting up his own promotion." Wow, really? So gave me all his information. This was like a week before graduation. Gave me all the guys' information, and his name's Cream Horton. That's my original trainer, the Madman, that knows. I got all his information. I called him later on that day, sent him some videos of me and my friends that doing those stupid wrestling videos from back in the day on YouTube. I got lucky. Started training with him maybe not even a year later, and
Wow. There you go. Our girl Amber's in the chat. Shout out to you. Love ya. She goes, what made you choose the Kryptonarian for your gimmick? And did you have any other choice before choosing your gimmick?
So I chose the Kryptonian because, well, anyone out there that knows me knows I'm a very big Superman fan. He's my all-time favorite superhero. I don't know if you know this, but I got injured last year for the first time in my career, completely torn ACL. And before then, I called myself the suntan Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always kind of had like a Superman type gimmick going on because he's my favorite. But the reason why I chose Kryptonian is because I thought it sounded cool. And some people agree, some people disagree, but I mainly picked it because, I just think it sounds pretty cool. So,
That's
but
cool.
and what was the other question she asked?
Did you have any other choice, like, before choosing your gimmick?
Yes and no. I mean, I'm one of the lucky ones. I got to choose whatever I wanted to do, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, tell you it's like, oh, gimmick this or that. But I pretty much had like, no canvas, pretty much like what I wanted to be. So
Yeah. That's cool. So I always like to ask, I love to ask the opinions of the wrestlers because like I've clearly seen you and like I'll go into other matches as we go deeper into this interview. But I was like, your opinion, like for a fan that's never seen you wrestle before, what is the go-to match that they should turn on that you think is your very best?
Go-to match. I actually had a lot of good matches in my opinion recently. The Dan Styles' last show, which was in InterGender 9, I wrestled Riley Shepard.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is that was my first ever intergender match. He's a badass, number one. I don't know if she's going to be watching this video at all, but he's amazing. And had a baller. It was fun. It was really, really fun. Hard hitting. A lot of people were into it from what I was told. So I feel like that's one of the matches I would definitely recommend someone watch if they're interested in getting to know me a little bit more. Another match is against one of my longtime rivals, Johnny Nova, who is currently in Florida as we speak. Best life, getting his name out there like all of us. I believe it was H2O show. I think it was No Excuses. He tried to come back and get his job back here at H2O, but in order to do such a thing, he had to get through me. And obviously, I'm back here, so yeah.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you about your match with Riley Shepard, that you did put that out, that was your first intergender match. And me personally, like, I love intergender matches. They're one of my favorite things about wrestling. It's really cool. And Riley Shepard, which is really, really great. And I was so happy because it was fun. I think that was the first time I finally seen her live in person. Like, I've seen her like all over the place, but I don't think I've actually seen her live in front of me. So which was such a cool experience for me as well. And she's such a badass. And if you guys go back on the Indie Talks episode for the intergender show, you'll see I got footage of you guys before your match. So it was cool to like watch you guys like setting up, you know, the before your match. And I'm like, she's such a badass that I was like, damn. I was like, you know, like holding you up in the air was like the coolest thing for me to see. Like, I think like a lot of people don't think like women are that strong. And I guess the whole background of, which I've talked about with other wrestlers on this podcast, is being young and like watching this like 30 years ago. You didn't have intergender matches. So like, what are your thoughts about the whole intergender matches, how it is nowadays?
I'm a fan of it, honestly. Like, I've always been a fan ever since it started becoming a bigger thing. Because at the end of the day, we're all professional wrestlers. I mean, everyone should be treated equally. Doesn't matter if you're a guy, girl, big, small, whatever, you know. And as you said before, she was strong enough to actually hold me up. I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but I'm a decent-sized guy, you know. And the fact that she was able to hold me up for a vertical suplex for as long as she did was, let's just say, it caught me off guard for sure. And I told her that a million times in the back. But as far as, you know, how I feel about intergender matches and the popularity that it's been gaining, I'm all for it. Yeah. I really am all for it. And I hope to have many, many more before the end of my career, because they're fun. They really are fun.
I would love to see a part 2 with you guys in this, because you guys had great chemistry in the ring. So if you guys did watch that match, definitely go back on the IWTV app and definitely go watch that. You know, the whole show was great. So, and I love the fact, again, compared to how it was like 30 years ago and what we're getting now with the different styles of wrestling, it's absolutely amazing. Let me grab this in the chat, because I was going to talk about this too. Wilbert's in the chat. He goes, do you have a real feud with Frankie outside of the ring?
Yeah, this is what I've been asked quite a few times. Try to keep it professional here. You know, me and Frankie kind of go way back. Not many people know too much about him and I, but he was actually one of the first people I met in the business of wrestling. I was 17 years old when I first started. And there was a spot over in North Philly that we used to train at, and that's where I met him. And starting off, you know, he's a cool dude, you know. And I don't hate him. It's just certain things here and there between him and I that we just don't see eye to eye on, and things got a little heated, as you guys have seen. So, I don't know. I won one, he won one, so we'll see what happens. I don't want to talk too much about it, you know?
It's funny because I feel like you guys, like, your feud reminds me of like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, in the sense that it's like one of those matches that can always happen and always will have that great chemistry, in the ring.
Mhm.
And what I was going to bring up is it's funny that Wilbur brought that up, because I wanted to talk about the last time that you guys were in the ring. You had your whole section going on. Shout out to like all your coworkers and friends. Like, I love seeing that at indie shows, and I've been to a lot of indie shows where you see people being so supportive. And like even the intergender show, they were wilding out literally right behind me. Like, that's got to be an amazing feeling to have that amount of support from all like friends and coworkers.
Make sure I don't get hit.
Oh God, don't get hit.
Yeah. The old cars going by, I'm like, don't hit me. But yeah, as far as my coworkers, they're a crazy bunch of people. Some of them actually might be watching this. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, they actually, I don't think any of them have ever been to a wrestling event before.
Mhm.
And the first show they ever came to was Put Up or Shut Up, I believe. And that's when I was supposed to wrestle Frankie. But let's be honest, you know, Frankie just wasn't ready at the time. So I challenged Rocket instead. Me and Rocket had a pretty decent match. I ended up winning, of course, like always. But you know, they had a good time, my coworkers, and they're, you know, one of my number one supporters out there. All my friends, family, they're all behind me, and you know, I consider myself really lucky that I have so many people that are pushing me to chase my dream and reach for the stars, pretty much.
No, that's great. You need that, definitely. So it's like, that's why I always tell people, when you go to independent shows, be loud, you know, boo the heels. It's okay. Go heckle them a little bit and like support the ones. Like, I'm the one, I'll be cheering for the heels. I'm sorry. Like,
better, you know that.
I love heels. They're like my favorite thing. Like, it's so entertaining. I love it. And it was funny. So we got like another fan tweet from Paul. He goes, "When's the rubber match with Frankie? Huh, Darien?"
Dude, I got rated R real quick, huh?
What a mess. You're a mess, Paul. So we'll just move on from that. So another match I definitely want to talk about that you had a great match is Ryan Redfield. Oh man, you guys had a banger. Total banger of a match. And Ryan's got that killer lariat. Like, let's talk about this match a little bit. Like, because you even talked about it that on social media about his lariat. So
yeah. He has one of the most devastating lariats in the history of professional wrestling. Even though I've only taken a handful, like good ones, he's definitely at the top of the list. And he's probably going to end up watching this. He's actually training in there right now. He's probably going to end up watching this eventually. But I always told him, you know, Killian McMurphy, of course, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Killian was actually the first person that pretty much decapitated me with a lariat. And I would always like compare other people's lariats and clotheslines to his, because he hit me the hardest and pretty much turned me inside out. But Ryan's, on the other hand, I think he got Killian beat. I really think he has Killian beat with his lariat, because yeah, I saw stars after that.
It's so hard. Wait, we see some more questions in the chat. Mitten says, "Who's your favorite tag team?"
Favorite tag team? Ooh, that's a good question. Favorite tag team. You know what? I'm going to go ahead with my childhood favorite tag team, the Hardy Boys.
Okay, I like it. Wilbert asks, "Do you watch AEW or WWE?"
To be honest with you guys, I actually have not watched wrestling in quite some time, only because I'm doing it a lot myself, and I'm just really busy individual to begin with. Like, if I'm not wrestling, I'm working. If I'm not working, I'm, you know, at the gym. If I'm at the gym, I'm wrestling. So it's, you know, nonstop all the time. But whenever I do get a chance to watch wrestling, it's a mix of both. I do like watching AEW. I think they have a lot of good stuff going. WWE, I've always been a WWE fan. That's the ultimate goal for me one day is WWE. So gotta show support for them. So yeah, pretty much a mix of both. I do like both of them. They're both good in my opinion. I know people have their you know, issues with certain companies, but not one to complain.
Yeah, no, and that's the nice thing is that there's so much wrestling, and I'm sure like even like you're at shows, like when you're wrestling at shows, you're watching pretty much what's going on there too. So with that being said, is there anybody that you have your eye on that you would love to get into a match with?
So are we talking in the indies or like the big
Indies? Let's talk indies. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Well, one of the 3 matches I had already happened. Unfortunately, got my ass handed to me, but it was Chuck Payne. He was top of my list for a while. Finally got that opportunity. Trying to think. Huh. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Matt Tremont.
Ooh. Okay.
He's someone I've wanted to get in the ring with for a while. You know, I was a little upset when he retired, but yeah, if the opportunity ever comes up, I'll take it.
Awesome. I feel like I can rebuttal off of Amber's question in chat. She goes, another question. Would you ever do a hardcore or death match if it's just once? So it's funny because I feel like this could kind of interact off of like Matt Tremont.
Yep. Well, it's funny that she asked that question because that's exactly who I want to do it with. Mm-hmm. If I only had to do it for one time only, it'll be against Matt Tremont. So do with that what you will. Hopefully it'll happen one day. We'll see.
I hope so. I mean, he's coming out of retirement. Like, I always feel like you're never fully retired when it comes to wrestling in general. I mean, I would love to see him come back completely and go run through all the students at H2O, which would be great. Whoever hasn't, or even like the ones that have gotten better, if they've already, like Reed's first match was with Matt Tremont. And it'd be kind of cool, like now it's like a year later, like to see like the progression of like Reed against Matt. So Amber says you have my full support as always. I love it. Shout out to you. Great stuff. So we have another fan tweet from Drew. He goes, which opponent did you enjoy wrestling the most and why?
I already said her name, but I'm gonna say it again, Riley Shepard. And the reason why was because she is just amazing as far as what she can do. Great personality. She's one of the friendliest people outside the ring, I should say. In the middle of the story, but yeah, the reason why I'm picking her is because she really brought a lot to the table. She hits hard, and the funny thing is, when the match was announced by Stan, both Matt and Preacher, pulled me to the side and they said, "Oh yeah, she's gonna kick your ass. I hope you know that." Thanks, guys. But yeah, I mean, they weren't lying because she did indeed kick my ass. Even though I walked away the winner, she still, she made her point.
Awesome. Again, hope we get to see that. We have another fan tweet from Lauren. She goes, what has been the greatest accomplishment of your wrestling career thus far and why?
It's a really, really, really...
Oh, I think you muted.
Oh, I was muted?
Oh, no, you're good. There you go.
Well, not to toot my own horn here. Sorry, I can't talk right. So the greatest accomplishment I've had so far was the opportunity that I got to work with WWE. I got to do extra work with them on a few different occasions. And it was just an amazing experience. So that's definitely at the top of my list of the best accomplishments I've had so far. I'm only 25, so hopefully I'll have a lot more to come. But as of right now, just the fact that I got to, be inside of a WWE ring, meet everyone backstage, all the superstars in WWE and stuff like that. Is not a lot of people get that opportunity,
Yeah.
So that's definitely something I'm very thankful for and grateful for.
Has there been like anything that from that experience that you kind of like take that, that you can share with us, like maybe something particular, maybe it was like a training moment, maybe it was, somebody said something to you or...
I'll say this because a lot of my trainers that I've had in my career so far have told me this from day one, and a lot of people from WWE told me the same thing. If anyone out there that wants to get to WWE or has the opportunities coming out of WWE, such as practice matches and things like that, we've all heard it, and I'm going to say it again, less is more.
Awesome.
That's the biggest thing, less is more.
Awesome.
But
Okay, cool. So you brought up like, working out and everything like that. So you must have like a crazy workout routine. So maybe you would like to share some tips to some people like that want to bulk up, or maybe some tips of like that if someone wants to like lose some weight.
gotcha. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm no dietitian or trainer, physical trainer is what I meant. But as far as my schedule goes, kind of out as far as like my mind, because a lot of people don't know how I can keep myself moving throughout the day, because I literally start my day at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym and just work out for maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. After that, go to work for 8 hours, and your training, go to bed, wake up, do the exact same thing the next day. But for people out there that want to lose the weight and gain weight, lose weight, something easy to remember if you're trying to gain weight. Obviously, eating is involved, so eat a little bit more. Try to up your carbs, up your protein, and lift heavier in the gym. Lose weight, cardio is going to be your best friend. Lower carbs. Just rep it out at the gym pretty much. That's the super easy way of explaining how to do those two things. Obviously, there's a lot more, but I don't want to sit here and bore you guys to death. Working out and stuff, I can go for hours. So.
No, it's great. Definitely great stuff. So, do you have any pre-match rituals?
Not really. Well, I guess I kind of do. So if I'm on my way to an event, obviously mainly shows are H2O, but anywhere that I go for a show, I like to play wrestling games. Wrestlers who I looked up to growing up. Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H's theme song, Taker. I know a lot of people are probably going to call me a mark for that, but it gets me hyped up. Kind of reminds me of why I'm doing this, because I want like those guys once upon a time.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm actually doing it. Just hearing their theme songs really amps me up, and it helps me focus a little bit more and just remember what I'm doing here.
Awesome. I love that. So another question I like asking is, if we went into your gear bag, besides your gear, clearly, what will we find?
A lot of the guys in the back are going to find us. They watch the baby oil. Baby, going to find everything else is just your basic stuff. Towels, because I'm super sweaty by the end of matches. Wrist tape, things like that. So nothing crazy, nothing embarrassing, just baby oil.
Baby oil. Maybe you should tag team with Michael Nakazawa and the whole baby oil thing.
Yeah, apparently I use too much in some people's opinions, but I don't know. Gotta show off the body, you know what I mean?
There you go, definitely. Do you have any great road trip stories?
Great road trip story. That's a good question. I don't really do a lot of traveling like I used to before I, discovered H2O. It wasn't necessarily a funny story, but it's something I'm always going to remember. Is the first time I traveled with Matt Tremont, Chris Bradley, who else was in that ride? Johnny Nova, and I believe Christian Ross as well. We were going to Excite Pro Wrestling over in New York. I can't remember. It was like, obviously it was before I got injured last year, so it was like, I think it was right before COVID is when it happened, and that was my first time going kind of super far to an event. And the fact that it was with those guys was just awesome. It was a good time, a lot of laughs, a lot of funny stories they told. So yeah, like I said, nothing crazy happened, no funny story, no like funny stories that are worth telling, but it was just a good time.
Yeah. Are you a Wawa person or a Sheets person?
Wawa all the way.
Wawa
I'm from Philly, so Wawa. I know there's a debate going on out there of Wawa and Sheets. And don't get me wrong, I've had Sheets, and for a while there, I was like, I don't know. Wawa has some competition, but I don't know. Maybe I just hit the wrong Sheets one day, going over to a show in Harrisburg like a few years ago, and whatever I ate messed my stomach up really bad. And ever since then, I was like, yeah, screw Sheets. It's all about Wawa.
I like my Wawa coffee. And how convenient is it that Wawa is right up the block from H2O?
Oh yeah, like I said, that's where we all go
Yep.
during intermission. Sometimes before the show, after the show. Wawa, yeah, they've made quite a bit of money off of us here at H2O. So.
Yeah, I think they even know me now. Like with all the times. They kind of know me every time. The before, the after, even the during. Or I think like sometimes when I come there early, and then even like when Anthrax had his cast, and like I'm like, I got you. Get in the car.
Yeah.
We'll go over there. Like we'll go get some food. I swear, all the times that I go in there and I run into everybody, it's like, hey, what's going on? So.
It's a good feeling sometimes to go into a place and everyone knows who you are.
Yeah, definitely. And it's got to be cool also with like the fans. You know, like running into you like at the Wawa probably as well. So
yes, sometimes. Yeah, I'm sure you know who this is, Anthony Fazio.
Yes.
I think that's his last name. I hope I pronounced it
yes.
right. I ran into him at a Walmart once. And I think this was a match I had against. I think it was the first match me and Frankie had against each other, and I forgot what I had. I think I had to go to Walmart to get wrist tape because I forgot to buy some the day before. And I just saw him walking down the aisle. And I was like, what are you doing here? Caught him off guard, but yeah, he's a good dude. But yeah, I ran into him at Walmart. I ran into a few other fans at Wawa a few times. It happens. Just have a little small conversation and let them do their thing.
That's got to be fun. I mean, have you had any experiences like the fans like brought you something, like something cool?
Yeah. Anthony brings me things all the time. I can't tell you how many Superman gifts he's gotten me.
Aww.
Like, I wish I was at my apartment right now, actually, because he got me this ginormous Superman pop. Like, it's humongous. I'll send you a picture of it through Facebook whenever I get home, or if I remember tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the thing is big. He shared it on Facebook, and I reacted to it because he got one for himself. He hit me up, and he was like, I can get you one if you want me to. And I thought he was joking. So I was like, oh, yeah, that'll be awesome, man. But I didn't really think he was going to do it. Come the next show, here he is with this ginormous Superman pop. He's like, here you go. I'm like, wow. So
that's so nice.
Big. And he's got me a couple Superman little figurines. He gave me Superman like model car. I have all this stuff, too. It's in my apartment. I keep it on a shelf, you know, because I love when people do that. It's kind and awesome. I like stuff.
No, that's cool. That's definitely cool. And me, like, I bring cookies for you guys.
Yeah, cookies in before a match. I can't tell you how many, like, I had to slap my own hand away sometimes. Like, nope, not before a match. Wait till after. But
if they're still there.
They're all gone, yeah.
You kind of have to, like, grab them, wrap them, put them in your gear bag, and, like, save it. Because the way that, like, they go over there, like, it's just, you know, it's kind of like my thank you. Because you guys are awesome and coming on the podcast and chit-chatting with me and giving me footage for the Indie Talk episodes that I do as well. So so it's always fun. So guys, definitely like check those Indie Talk episodes. You'll see me backstage at H2O and other promotions as well. It's fun. You never know what's gonna happen. You could have those serious interviews. You could have people dancing, you know, people making fun of other wrestlers. Shout out to Santiago because he had me dying with his little mask a couple weeks ago, being Low Life Louie and G Raver. That was
that's pretty cool. I remember that. Like I forgot whose face he had on. I think it was Raver's face.
Yeah.
Scared the crap out of me. I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Then he had Matt Tremont's face on it too. Like it's all good fun. I love it, absolutely. So since we talked about like the fun of like, you know, the wrestling fans doing fun things and stuff like that, have you like? It's an infamous question of mine. What's the craziest thing a fan's done to get your attention?
Craziest thing.
I love these stories. That's why I ask them.
It's kind of I don't even want to say it's like a touchy subject. It was a good one. I'm not gonna lie. He made me chuckle a little bit. I almost broke character. So this was an organization over in Harrisburg called CCW, Classic Champion Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So is owned by Rob Noxious, by the way. So I had a match. I think it was against. I want to say it was against Mr. Ping, who was a great guy. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he's a great guy. I think it was a match against him. So at the time, I was still going under the name Suntan Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So of course you hear all the Superman puns, kryptonite's your whatever, all that nonsense. And there was this one guy, right before I locked up with Mr. Ping, he called me Dark Kent. And so at first I was like, wow, that was really messed up. But I was like, you know what? I can't even be mad at that because that was really creative and that was really funny. So yeah, I let that one slide. But that was probably the craziest thing. I know there's plenty of other stories that people have told you that were a lot more crazier than that. But I just thought it was just funny.
No, but that's what I like. I like the funny stories. Those are the ones. See, like I like those stories that that make you laugh or whatever with the crazy fans, because you never know. But that's always fun. Me, I love trying to break wrestlers out of character, especially if like I'm really close with them. I'm pretty good at breaking them. That they have to walk away from me, pretty much, because like break them. That's kind of like my goal with a lot of people. I love it. I love you guys. So I like to ask this too, for also like for fans that might not know you. What is your finisher move, and what made you choose that?
So my finishing move has been called so many different things, but I will be the one to tell you right here, right now, officially. My finishing move is called Godfall. And your other question was, where did I get it from? Is that what it was?
Like what made you choose it?
What made me choose that? Okay, so Sheamus, obviously WWE superstar Sheamus, used to. I haven't seen him use this move in a while. I think he called it the High Cross, I think is what it was. But anyway, that's basically the exact same move that I just pretty much took from him. So I always thought it was really cool, just seeing him, pick all these people up over his head and just toss them across the ring. I'm all about power moves. I like showing off, what I can do as far as people that I can lift and how far I can throw people across the ring and stuff. So I thought about it for a bit, and I was like, you know what? See how many people I can do it to. So far, the biggest person I was able to do it to is Christian Ross, who we all know is a big guy. He's like 6'4", pushing, 265, 270 maybe. So, but yeah, Godfall's the finishing move, and I definitely stole it from Sheamus. So yeah.
Awesome. It's funny watching you like throw people across the ring. It's pretty entertaining. It's like, I think probably a lot of my clips that I take of you guys, I mean, Casey Cazal loves my commentary when I record. And like I'll send stuff to her like through the years or whatever, as long as I know Casey. And then she goes, "I'm just here for your commentary during my match." She goes, "How you react is the most funniest thing." So I'm sure if I go back to like footage that I have of you throwing people around, you hear me going, "Oh my god!" Like,
yeah, a lot of people catch like I don't know, like Anthony's another one. He catches the best photos and the best videos. He always gets me when I'm like midway throwing people.
Yeah.
And all you get is just a crash and burn. I was like, wow. A lot of people don't like taking that move. I don't blame them. Some people think it's fun. Other people, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that again. So I'm like, it is what it is.
I feel like we have to make a compilation video of you throwing it, and then like on TikTok the music that goes, "Oh my god, wee! Oh my god, wee!"
Well, I don't really have. I don't know how TikTok works. I have one. I only used it once, but I'm stupid when it comes down to editing things.
So,
but yeah, I've learned how to do it the right way. I'll definitely do it.
If anybody out there is like really good with that, do it and send it to me, or do it and tag me and Darien, because I'm just gonna...
whole bunches. Just hit up Anthony. He has all the footage of me throwing.
Oh my god, wee! I can't. I'm dead. All right, so what are some goals that you'd like to accomplish within the next year?
Within the next year, I definitely want to travel more. That's a big thing. COVID is, I don't know what COVID is anymore. It's like spiking and not Delta variant, but I'm not involved in that. But let's just say traveling is more of an option now. Again, thank God. So traveling is definitely on my list. And wrestling full time, sure. As much as I love my job, my shoot job, obviously the dream is to wrestle full time, whether it be for WWE, AEW, Impact, even ROH. It doesn't really matter. I just want to wrestle full time, so that way I can say that I did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like that's what my goal.
Okay. Okay. So also another question that I wanted to ask as well, because I've been asking even like a lot of students over at H2O that come onto this podcast. Like I want to talk about Last Extravaganza, which was amazing. We're almost there, like a year, and Matt retired. And again, like we talked about, he's coming back out next month out of retirement. So, but I would love to hear your thoughts on like what it meant for you to watch him, you know, retire. I mean, it was a very emotional night for people there, people watching at home, but even for you guys, like it had to be like more emotional on a different level than someone like me as a fan.
Right. Yeah, it was really emotional. You know, it's the relationship between me and Matt is kind of a weird one because before I ever stepped foot in the ring, before I took my first bump up to my original trainer, who I was telling you about before, I went to one of his first shows that he ever threw, and Matt was actually on that card. He of course did one of the extreme matches. I think last Thumbtack. It was just craziness, and that was the first time I ever saw anything like that live. I just remembered him because I was like, that was crazy. And then years later, a friend of mine tells me about H2O. I come over here to check it out, and I see him. He's, I was like, I don't know if you remember me, but you wrestled a show for KCW like years ago, back in 2013. And he's like, yeah, I did. And I was like, yeah, well, I was actually in the crowd for that, and you honestly had the match of the day because I've never seen anything like that, and crazy. Never even knew that was like legit thing, and to see it like right there in front of me, and everything flying all over the place, all the glass and thumbtacks. I was like, wow, that's tough. But yeah, ever since coming here to H2O,
Oh, I think you're like in and out.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know if you were putting your finger on the speaker. You're good.
So yeah, just getting to know him more, more him outside the ring. He's a great guy. Taught me a lot. Obviously gives me a shit ton of opportunities that I appreciate, and I tell him that every single time I have a show or a match with him. He's just a great dude. But to see him retire that night was really rough.
Yeah.
I think every single person in the business of pro wrestling felt something because of the fact that none of us want to stop wrestling. You know what I mean?
Right.
And eventually we're all going to have to tell ourselves it's time to stop. And hearing his speech and just knowing that he was going into retirement kind of made me think about my future whenever I can't do this anymore. And that kind of really hit me hard because it's like, well, damn, not all of us could be like Ric Flair. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was really emotional, but I'm happy that he's coming out of retirement because not only is he going to have an amazing match, but like I said before, I could have an opportunity to finally have that match against him. So,
yeah, that's so awesome, and it's so cool to train under him and learn from some of the best promos around that make you believe. Like you even just talking about like his speech after. You get into like those feels, and you just feel it when it comes to Matt. Even him putting out the 10-minute video, if you guys didn't watch, with him talking about Onita accepting the challenge. You just, it's like, damn, one of the best promos around, right? Like, it's so
gives
great.
you goose.
It does. It really, really does. Every time like I watch like one of the promos, I definitely feel it. So.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those good things. So if you guys didn't watch that, go check that out as well. So what are some things you like to do in this when you're outside of the squared circle?
Some things I like to do when I'm outside of the square circle, obviously work out. I like doing that a lot. It's like a stress reliever sometimes. But aside from that, just hanging out with friends, watching superhero shit. Yeah, that's all I watch, just superhero stuff all the time. Watch the same movies over and over again and just wait for new ones to come out. But yeah, I'm kind of boring outside of wrestling, business. I don't really do too much except for hang out with people and work out.
Okay.
Watch super.
Okay, that's
Nothing.
Cool.
Great. Well, actually, I did get into acting recently.
Oh, okay.
That's fine in the future. I know people are going to call me like a rock wannabe, but I don't know. I've always had a thing for acting. I like movies. I'm a big movie buff. Yeah, acting was always something that kind of piqued my interest. So I know two people who I made friends with years ago, and they're into film and they went to school for it and everything. So I always like to do projects with them. I don't know if you've seen this, but if you go on YouTube and type in Blacked Out Productions, the owners' names are Nick Kelly and Chris Nee. They're my buddies I was telling you about. There is a skit that we did here at H2O that Matt Tremont is part of. It's really good.
Oh, okay.
Check it out. I can send you the link later on.
Send it. I'll share it.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I'll share it. Send it to me, and I'll share it on the and then I'll put it in the description for you guys as well, so you can check it out. So,
awesome. But just check that out, and you'll see what I mean. How crazy it is, but yeah, back to what I was saying about the acting part. Yeah, I mean that's probably the most interesting thing outside of wrestling for me is the acting.
Awesome. That's so cool. So I have one final question for you, and if you guys have any other questions for Darien, please drop them in the chat, and then we'll go into like some upcoming shows that he's got after. So we have a lot of fans that are getting into wrestling or want to get into wrestling, but I'd like to ask everybody this so you can help out those fans, because I do get those messages too. So to all amateur inspiring wrestlers out there, what's a piece of advice that you would give?
Best advice I can give to future wrestlers: always keep your ears open. Soak in all the advice you can get from anybody. If a veteran comes in, pick their brain. Don't be afraid to ask stupid questions. There is no stupid question. And I'm trying to think. Just fun. I feel like a lot of people forget how to have fun in the wrestling business. Once it's all about competition. I got to do this, I got to do that, but just have fun. Have fun. Get out there, focus, but also have fun.
Awesome. Good cop, bad cop. I didn't see your question. I don't even see it on the Twitter. Type it in the chat for me, and I'll ask him that. So what I'll do is we can talk about what you sent me with some upcoming shows that you have, and then I'll go back to your question when you type it in the chat for me, because I don't even see it on Twitter. It's weird. But I'll definitely ask it. Just pop it in chat for me. So let's talk about what you got coming up. So you got a match tomorrow. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I got a show coming up. Not sure if I'm actually going to be wrestling on this show, but me and my two boys, Black G's, Sean Pratt, are going to take over SKPW, Super Crazy Pro Wrestling. We always do. We are the next big thing. I can tell you that right now. We actually had a match not too long ago against Brian Cage, Moose, and Sean Donovan. So great match. Yeah, I think we made our point. May not have walked away the winner, but I think we made our point. Apparently there's someone out there named Tony Batista that has some words that he wants to share with us tomorrow at SKPW show. So see what he has to say. And
Awesome. I love Deshaun Pratt. He's been on the podcast as well. If you guys haven't checked out that interview, go back, check that stuff out. So I feel like I wish I could come tomorrow. I would have loved to come to this show. But I got plans tomorrow. Kick ass with that this tomorrow. And then you have another show coming up on the 26th. So that's going to No Limits at where is this? This one, Keystone Champion Wrestling.
Yeah, so that's actually a promotion that I started with. That's where
you're going in and out. Might be where you're standing.
Like hands here, they keep covering the speaker. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. So, what didn't you hear?
Start over because it was cracking up. So about
My fault. The KCW show was owned by my original trainer, Kareem Horton, the Madman Kareem. So this is his first show he's having in, I think, a year and a half, almost 2 years. So I'm excited. I haven't wrestled for KCW in a while. And I'm actually going to be wrestling a kid by the name of Tim Dynamite. I don't know if he's going to be watching this video. And he had quite a few things to say in the promo that he put on Facebook. Him and I actually know each other outside of the ring. And in some ways, he's kind of my first student because I taught him a lot how to wrestle. I was there when he took his first bumps, taught him how to chain wrestle and things like that. And he's making his debut match in the business of pro wrestling against me. So I don't know who he pissed off to do that, but all I know is I'm not holding back. So I hope he's ready for it.
Okay, awesome. Hey, Frankie Picard, I see you in the chat. What's up? How are you?
I was waiting to see if he was going to show up.
So let me get to this, the fan tweet that I didn't see, if a good cop, bad cop put it in here. He goes, with Darien Hardway being an anagram of airhead and Rye, which wrestler is the biggest airhead and who has the wryest sense of humor? Why humor is like dry humor if needed.
Long, weird question.
Oh, he loves doing this to everybody that comes on this podcast, just so you know. It's like his thing.
So, what was the exact question? I kind of got a little bit.
He goes, which wrestler is the biggest airhead and who has the highest sense of humor?
Biggest airhead. Driest sense of humor. I don't know. I've met quite a few people in the business that I would consider an airhead, but as far as the dry sense of humor, I'm trying to think.
He loves to stump everybody.
But say, to be honest, I have no idea. I have no idea.
He's cracking up in the chat, just so you know. That's his whole thing that he likes to do. He likes to mess with everybody that comes on here. So I love it.
Seriously, trying to like come up with a legit answer. I really don't know. He's got that one.
He goes, I gotta keep those wrestlers on their toes. Haha.
Yeah. I can't tell, but yeah, let's just say I'm on my toes. I'm Michael Jackson over here. There you go.
So before we let you go, so you can go back to trading, just tell everybody where they can find you if they want to give you a follow and all that fun stuff.
So yeah, even though I'm not on Twitter too much, I'm starting to learn how to do it because, again, I'm an old soul, so like technology and me aren't necessarily the best of friends. I was going to keep this quiet, but screw it, I'll say it anyway. I needed help with this Skype earlier. You know that for a fact, Tiffany.
Yeah. I feel you. Don't feel bad.
But yeah, as far as my Twitter goes, if you guys want to follow me, it's at Darien Hardway on Twitter. On my Instagram, it's _Kryptonian_wrestler. And if you guys want to friend request me on Facebook, please do. It's my shoot name, Darien Harris. And yeah, just don't send me any weird, creepy messages.
Don't be asking for socks and toe picks.
Yeah, I've already had quite a few people asking.
Oh, God.
Like, my old wrestling boots. I don't wear them anymore, but I just wanted to keep them. You know, they're my first pair of wrestling boots, and it has some, I don't even know the guy's name. Kind of just looked at the message and was like, okay, cool. But pair of he wanted me to wrestle in my original pair of wrestling boots. And then just ship them right to him. And I was like, well, I get an idea on where you're going with this, but we're not going to do that.
Don't be weird, guys. No, I mean, it's cool for the people that are collectors because I do actually see like people post the cool,
out there to collective.
Yeah,
I'm one of their wrestlers, number one. That's awesome. And of course, I don't mind like giving autographs or pieces of gear that I have, but I don't know, the fact that he wanted me to, wear my boots and not let them air out at least, and just send them straight to him. I was like,
yeah, that's a little weird.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like to yuck anybody's yuck.
I guess that's the craziest thing a fan's done.
Yeah, as of right now, I mean, from what I've been told by people who have made it to the bigger leagues, it only gets worse. So.
Oh goodness, gosh.
Yeah.
I am sorry. I feel for you guys, definitely. So, but thank you for coming on and hanging out with us. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, go give him some love. Go give him a follow. Go bother him. You'll see him over at H2O. Definitely go check that out as well. So, I guess with that, guys, that's going to be the end of this podcast. So, support independent wrestling. Stay safe, and we will talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.